Okay, so in this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of your attitude and your level of hope and belief in yourself, the role of that in recovering from a bad trip. Or I don't really like to use the word bad trip because I don't think that they're bad. I think that they're difficult. Um, but that aside, I want to talk about your attitude, because I believe that attitude in healing from this is probably the single biggest factor in whether or not you're going to um, make it through this quickly versus slowly, or really heal on a real level instead of just healing kind of on a surface level, or even getting anything out of the trip itself. And so, if you've been reading my site or if you've contacted me, you've probably heard me talk about attitude, having hope, having faith, believing, making a decision about what this experience is going to mean to you. And the reason that I say that so much is because it's so true. You have the power to decide what this experience is going to mean to you. It's really hard. You feel like your whole world is crashing down around you. You feel like you just want this to be over. But in reality, there's a lot more to be gained from this than just getting through it real quick, getting back to normal, getting back to your old self, which is the easy way out. And there's a lot more to be gained from it than that. And what allows you to begin that journey of gaining something truly from it is having a good attitude and having hope and having faith. So I wanted to read, well, first, there's kind of two different camps, two types of people, if you will. People who believe that things happen to them for a reason, and people who believe that things just happen to them. I get people on either side of that fence, and I feel like a lot of times it's easier for the people who believe that everything happens for a reason, because they're more willing to trust and have faith in the fact that this was supposed to happen to them, and therefore they see the good in it. Whereas if you're a person who believes that things just happen, it can be harder for you to really see, I don't want to say the bright side of it, but the positive, and see what can be gained from the experience. You have to try a little bit harder. But at the end of the day, whether or not you think it happened to you for a reason, it happened to you. And it's from a from a fate perspective, it's calling upon you to grow. And from a non-fate perspective, it happened to you, and you're going to have to grow to get through it. So either way, the point of this is personal growth. Getting stronger, getting wiser, getting more in touch with yourself requires hard work. I mean, that's just anything that improves you. Say you're going to the gym and you want to build muscle, you want to look better. That requires hard work. There's all kinds of people out there who make a lot of money trying to give people the easy way out, but through supplements or magic diets or anything. But the fact of the matter is that real lasting growth or improvement requires hard work. And a lot of people take psychedelics because they want to grow as a person, or they want to improve, depression, or get more spiritual. But the fact of the matter is that a lot of times I hear, oh, it was helping me so much with my depression until this. It was helping me grow spiritually, but now I see that it's a double-edged sword. It's not. This is the next step in that growth. Psychedelics are amazing teachers, amazing coaches, amazing therapists and healers. But the problem is that we only want to believe that or see that when they're giving us easy lessons or easy workouts. Once the hard lesson comes, which is the real lesson or the really important big lesson, once that comes, we want to say, oh, that's not what I meant. It's what you asked for. And one thing I'll read you, which I have on my site, is something that I heard Terence McKenna say that I thought was really powerful. And this is kind of just paraphrasing, but I'll read you what I have written on my site. If there's one thing though about psychedelics, it's that they don't play around. Terence McKenna used to say that these substances have a clipboard, and every time you come back, they're evaluating you. They say, oh, she's back again, he's back again, and they check off boxes. Why is she back? Has she improved at all in her normal life? How many times has she come here? And sometimes you don't pass the test. Sometimes they're like, she's been back a lot, or she hasn't really been improving anything in normal life, or maybe it's not that you didn't pass the test, but they're like, oh, she's improved a lot, and now she's ready to face this negative stuff from her past, or now she's ready to really learn what strength and perseverance means. So we're going to give her the hard workout or the difficult test and see how she does with that. And a lot of us don't want to accept that. A lot of us want to only have peace, love, and pretty colors and great experiences where you feel one with all mankind, and that's certainly a part of psychedelics, but that's not the only part, and that's kind of just it's really not going to make you grow that much. And just to solidify that idea, all the good trips you have had, if you've had other trips besides this one, how often are you thinking about that? How often are you thinking about those trips and really incorporating things that you learned? And maybe you are, maybe those trips and the memory of them is a part of your everyday life, but for me, and I think for a lot of us, those were great experiences, but I don't think about them that often. I mean, they're a part of me, but they're not something that I would say has radically, the different things that I went through has radically, significantly changed my life. I will say that my first experience with LSD, at that time, before then, I was an atheist, and that first experience that I had with LSD really changed me from an atheist into a very spiritual person. So that is one big impact, but that spirituality was really not solidified or something that I relied on to get me through my life until this bad trip. But as far as many of the other psychedelic experiences that I haven't thought about them in a long time, and they're not part of my everyday reality or something that has had that big of an effect on me. But my bad trip has had an enormous effect on me, a beautiful, profound, deep, and pervasive impact on me. It's really catalyzed so much change in my life and so much change in the lives of other people that I've talked to and worked with. It's the real lesson that's really going to propel you forward. And another little thing I wanted to read is this legend about burning boats. So the burn your ship idea, this is on some website, I don't know, but originated in 1519 when an explorer Cortez sailed to Veracruz, Mexico with his crew. Upon arrival, Cortez's men became weary and scared, with hopes of turning back to home to their old life. As legend has it, Cortez had the men burn their ships, leaving no option but to press on. Their ability to retreat to the previous way of life was gone. Their safety net had been removed. The burning of those ships represented much more than the separation from old ways. The same fire that set the ships ablaze also allows Cortez's men to complete their mission and be a part of something greater than themselves. Burning our ships means there is no turning back to the old habits and ways. In this world, we wrestle with all kinds of different physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual battles. To allow great change in our lives, we must find the root of those struggles, our own ships, that can be so tempting to sail back on and burn them. That's a really good little way to put that story, which is from a website called WeBurnTheShip.com. I think they sell like their clothing brand, but that story is very prominent. I like the way they put it though. The bad trip is kind of like burning your ships that can allow you to sail back to normal life afterwards. It's like, now you're going on a new journey and there's no turning back, and we're burning, by giving you this crazy intense experience that's gonna change your life in a way that you cannot turn back on. We're burning the ships. We're forcing you into becoming a new person. And that's really great if you think about it, because you're never going to be the same person that you were before. A lot of times I hear people asking me, all I want to do is go back to normal, become normal again. And the point of this is not to become normal again. It's to become a new person, a new and better version of yourself. To go through the hard thing that's going to force you to grow and to get in touch with yourself, to deal with your emotions, to learn about yourself, to learn about anxiety, to learn about what it means to have courage and faith and perseverance, and how to rely on people in your life, or how to rely on your own personal strength, or how to rely on a faith that you have in something spiritual, or a faith that you have in something philosophical. It's going to take you to so many different places and help you develop so much deep wisdom about life and death and yourself and the world and consciousness and what it means to be a human. It's going to take you on a wild, radical journey that, for me personally, I would not trade for anything. I know that if you're at home watching this and feeling like just at the depths of anxiety and despair after a difficult trip, you were probably saying, gosh, I would trade anything to not have this experience right now. But I've been there too. I went through what you're going through. It had an enormous impact on me. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. The most difficult and trying thing I've ever had to go through. And yet, here I am, and I'm okay now. I'm actually great now because I had a good attitude about it. Even though I was at the depths of despair, in like the rock bottom place I'd ever been in my life, the furthest in the dumps, I made this decision that, even though I am struggling with anxiety every single day, I have panic attacks constantly, I don't feel safe in my body or in this world. It's okay. I feel like that, but I'm going to work through it. I'm going to heal from this. I made that decision. And making that decision is what allowed me to come out of it and to come and heal and become better than I was before. I am not the same person I was before at all, and I would never go back to that other person. I'm so much better, so much wiser, and so much more strong, and I know my strength now, and I didn't before. So, wow, I covered everything that I had written down to talk about in this. But I really just wanted to give you some more explanation on what I mean when I talk about having the right attitude. It's in spite of the anxiety that you feel. That is your reality right now. But you're willing to see into the future, to not get bogged down in this idea that you're going to be like this forever. You're not going to be like this forever. I've had this experience myself, and I've talked to many people. None of them stay stuck. None of them are like this forever. It just doesn't happen. Time heals this. And there's a lot you can do to heal this. The best thing that you can do is have a good attitude. Find some way to see the beauty and the meaning and the purpose in your experience. Find some way to see the good in it. Even if it's just that, I don't know, even if it's something so silly as like, wow, now I know what it's like to have a panic attack, and that gives me so much more empathy for all the other people who have panic attacks, and before I thought that they were crazy or stupid because they had them, but now I feel for those people. I mean, that's a beautiful, even that tiny little aspect of it is an incredibly beautiful thing, that you've gained some empathy for people who go through something very difficult, who you never had empathy for before. Find some way to see the beauty in life around you, even despite what you're going through. Find some way to see the beauty in going outside and seeing the blue sky, or seeing a flower, or an animal, or the innocence of a child, or whatever it is that you can still see beauty in, because those are the things that are really going to pull you through when you're struggling with this so much. It really comes down to faith and hope and a dream and a vision and a decision that you're going to get through this. And I can say this all day long. You can go to a therapist and they can say it all day long. But the only person who can really make that decision is you. You have to make the decision. You have to say, yes, I have all this anxiety now, but I'm going to get through it. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure that out. I'm committing myself to this journey. My boats have been burned, and I'm moving forward, and I'm going to become a great version of myself. I'm going to accept the hard lesson instead of running from it. And I'm going to become great, because you will. You will become great. You will become so much stronger, and your life's going to really change. So yeah, that's more the expanded version of what I tell a lot of y'all in my emails and in my posts, and I hope it was a positive pseudo-motivational video for you. I hope you're feeling a little bit more positive now. So yeah, good luck, and yeah, stay strong.